another quarantine night. Hey man, it's Halloween weekend. But besides Halloween weekend, it's GOTV weekend.
GOTV weekend.
I ain't gotta
Get
talk
out
about this
to
damn
vote.
election no more. But first off, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to go into my whole spiel with it. Here we go again. You're watching the Quarantine live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. And you give us a call tonight, 313-355-6018. We do have a few people that's supposed to call in tonight, so please bear with us. Hopefully they do. If they don't, hey, it ain't on us. This is GOTV weekend. It's on you to get out there and do your thing. So, with that being said, I want to start the show with a shout out to the family, Arthur Vardaman, and him himself. Keep fighting, big dog. I know you out there. I know you're doing your thing. You coming through. Look, it was a long road, but you here. So, hey. I don't know if you heard, but Whitmer has raised over $3.1 million in the last quarter over James Craig. So,
She killing the game on the fundraising, ladies and gentlemen. We can say that.
This is beyond killing the game when it's about to get tough for your boy.
Yeah.
And it should, because the guy came out pretty intense and didn't work out the way he thought it was.
No.
FDA approved the vaccine for Pfizer doses for 5 to 11 year olds, and I guess I can kind of say that it's no longer a hoax now, because I thought this thing was supposed to take out all the older people and millennials and stuff like that. So I mean, if you're giving it to the babies, I guess it may be okay.
Yeah, we have to follow up with the statistical data on that, because it's less than 5,000 children have been tested on that. We'll talk about it on another show.
Yeah, we are. We're not doing that right now. I'll interrupt your ride spot. Some people still have not received their unemployment pay, and I don't understand what's going on.
For real.
You got people that ain't received not one check yet. One check. Not one.
That's
but they've
disturbing.
been filing and everything. The state owed these people about 17, 18,000, and Christmas is coming. I would love to have a fat ass Christmas
That'll
check.
come beautifully.
I'll
wait on it. That's worth waiting.
Like, man, you just wake up one day, you got
in your account
$17,000, 8,078 new cases of COVID over the past 2 days in the state of Michigan. Most of the new cases are from Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. Now, I don't know again what's going on. What are we doing?
Mask, y'all. Gotta keep your mask.
Oh, I was about to say, why you put on around me like
no,
I got
I'm
it?
just telling people, you still have to mask up.
You got some people that just feel like they're not gonna. What the hell? They're not gonna do a damn thing about it. So
you must mask up.
Please
mask
do.
up.
Hamtramck is passing out filters for water because of lead in some pipes. Now I keep saying if it's getting bad in Hamtramck, and it's getting bad in Benton Harbor and other places. Hamtramck is in the middle of Detroit. Nah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. And I don't want to stir the pot, because obviously I've been doing that a lot lately. Not on purpose, but because I care about my people.
But yeah, 17 per billion.
Make it
and
make
we're
sense.
at 16 per billion. And the state required is 15. So yeah, we're just 1 part per billion below Hamtramck.
Yeah, you gotta make it make sense.
Yeah, we all have lead still in our pipes. And there's one city they even said they had like 48%. Yes.
Is that here?
In the state of Michigan. We're not gonna go there. I didn't want to touch on that because I wanted to hit some other stuff. But it's you already know, as the environmentalist, it's disturbing that we realize that Detroit is still behind the game on getting our pipes installed, because we talked about that earlier, right?
I actually want to get you with somebody because he's trying to do some things too. Let me hurry up because your time is
he know I was over here brewing.
Biden attempting to get past a 1.75 trillion bill. I wish it was bigger. It should have been bigger, but the Dems versus the Dems, the GOP versus the Trumps is still going on, and they're screwing us over as people. Ladies and gentlemen, again, two major events coming this weekend. You got Michigan versus Michigan State. And then you have, again, the election. This is GOTV weekend. I ain't got nothing to say right now. I'm about to pass over to Roz because we got some things to touch on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll shut up. You shoot.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with the Roz Report. Thank you, Dre. We appreciate you. Y'all saw me over here brewing when he started talking about that water and that lead. Yeah, so, that's something really close to my heart, making sure we have clean access to clean and affordable water. But I want to just say, once again, thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. You could have been anywhere else doing anything but tuning in. But you said, let me stop what I'm doing. Tune in at WJZZ and see what Dre and Roz is talking about tonight. We about to get it in because we got some hot conversations to discuss. All right, first and foremost, I want to discuss to anyone who is currently a property owner in the city of Detroit or in Wayne County. There is an application, the tax exemption application, that is available for everyone that may be eligible. And we want to make sure all residents have access to this application. And so there's a lot of locations throughout the city that have resources to make sure that families can stay in their home. But I just want to make sure one specific number gets displayed and information get distributed for United Community Housing Coalition. Their number, ladies and gentlemen, is 313-405-7726. Once again, 313-405-7726. And the web page is uchcdetroit.org/resources. And they help you apply for your tax exemption application, answer any questions that you may have towards your eligibility. But the real conversation right now is to maintain your home and to keep your house. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, Detroit is only 40% of having its home ownership. 2 years ago, we were at 60% having our home ownerships. Right now, the whole country is in a full gentrification. What that means, that is a takeover of property, ladies and gentlemen. It is all about renting, creating apartment buildings, and destabilizing our communities and making sure we don't have our historical wealth. So my focus in this conversation right now is to make sure that the residents of Detroit and Wayne County and the state of Michigan reaches for these resources that allow you to have your property taxes paid. So we want to make sure this information is displayed, the resources are distributed, and residents have access to it. All right. And another resource that a lot of seniors don't know about, it's called the Senior Citizens Application for a Solid Waste Discount. What may that be? So, when on your property taxes, you pay for solid waste. It is really your trash pickup. The garbage can and your recycle bin that picks up in front of your home, that is $240. But if you're a senior, ladies and gentlemen, you have an application that you can get that reduced half. So we want you to contact either your local city council, your district manager, or any of your community agents to make sure you get that application and they can help you fill it out, ladies and gentlemen. And that is all citywide for City of Detroit residents. So I want to make sure applicants get to that application, and it must be filled out before the end of the year. So these resources are really available, but guess what? A lot of people don't know that they are accessible. All right? And a lot of people don't know that even though I am a candidate to be your next state representative in the 9th House District, I also am the project leader for Hope Park Project, which is a land-based community project that is over in Brightmoor and Old Redford. And we're on the last phase of collecting data and making sure residents have their voices heard concerning designing and having this project designed and implemented in their community. But we have also incentives and opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. We are hosting mapping parties, and we have incentives. If you would like to host a mapping party, guess what? We got $50 for you. Oh, and we pay for the whole dinner. You hear that? Oh, we hosting the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys, inbox me on Facebook or just give me a call at 313-633-4674. Once again, 313-633-4674. But this is a catch. You must live in Brightmoor or Old Redford to be able to host a mapping party and be able to have your input included to complete a survey and make sure that your ideas and what you envision is designed in this community. Now, our deadline is November 15th, so call me this week to make sure that we can get you in next week and get your party set up. So I just want to make sure that residents have good information, relevant information, and things that can help you enhance your life and make sure that you have resources and funding that's readily available to you. So I pass it back over to you, Dre.
Again, I want to thank you again for the ride spot. You always come through with this fire. You spit that hot fire that people scared to spit out here these days.
I be trying.
Again, you are watching the Quarantine live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Now, I know we were supposed to have a guest there.
We got somebody calling in. I don't know who that is. You know who that is?
Hello, this is Kendra. This is Kendra Anderson.
No, I don't, but hopefully we get to that soon. But we got some people that's supposed to be calling in, getting some stuff to us.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, anyway. But tonight we're going to be talking about some real deep stuff tonight because we got elections coming this weekend.
Yes, you already know. That's the flow of the weekend. GOTV weekend, y'all. Get out to vote.
I'm trying to tell y'all it's going down. I don't know. I'm kind of confused on why this has been such a quiet election. Yeah, I know it's supposed to come down to the candidates to get out here, but when does it ever come to the point of where we, want to know or fighting to see who's what, I like to know if it's election year, what's coming down the pipe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I seek that information. So why do you think it's so quiet of an election? Ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 hot second. I got that hot fire for you.
Yes, he's turning up.
Power on.
Oh.
There we go. Power on.
Auxiliary input mode.
Hey, man, I don't like robots. Ladies, can you hear me? Hello?
There we go, because we had a caller in. We weren't able to.
Okay, we're going to hook that up soon. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, I just don't, I've never been that type of person to wait for anything to come, to me. I've always, wanted to seek out and find that information, but that's just me. But,
And you're talking about concerning getting out to vote, finding out who our candidates are, being engaged about what the subject matter is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that what is going on right now and the temperature that's in the air is that the residents are very distrustful and actually, due to 2 of our councils being indicted, right? Mm-hmm. I believe one is still questionable. It's really putting a lot of people in the air concerning the political satire that's going on. I've been telling a lot of people that's running, I believe this is one of those election day turnouts that next Tuesday people are going to walk their ballots in.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
Y'all hear that, y'all? That sound that he calling y'all chicken. I feel like he's trying, y'all. The city of Detroit, did y'all hear that? They don't think you guys are going to get out. And now this is what I say that we should be saying. We're the number one. What do you mean people voted already?
I think a lot of people have voted absentee.
All right, well, that's good. Because if that's the case.
Before you get ready to cut my toes off, this is what the hell I'm saying. You ain't playing Chucky here tonight. I'm doing that.
Well, if that's good, I mean, I'm not going to. We want people to vote. But what we're saying is that, based on the conversation of the voting base only being 14.2%, right? and only expecting a 20% turnout. What I'm saying is to underestimate the voters and to say, oh, I think they're not going to come out, or by the current mayor and administration saying he's not going to give us a debate. By him not saying he's going to tell us why he's not spending the money according to what we asked for.
At this point, that's a moot point.
Wait a minute. Why? Hold on. But also, why he just got married and he's with the individual that he was indicted with, but he's choose not to stand before the people and ask questions that are posed among the community, not just the selected Ivy Leagues and those with a lot of letters behind their names, right? The ones that are actually forgotten and displaced. And so, because that's strategic.
True.
And that's what I'm saying.
But you just missed what I said. At this point,
so there's
you gonna fart and Tuesday gonna be here.
That's what I'm saying though. So the ability of GOTV weekend. What does GOTV weekend supposed to do?
Candidates, what is it supposed to do? Because I ain't giving y'all my
Ladies and gentlemen, GOTV, get out to vote.
No. You don't do that for them either. Because if you're a candidate in this election, you should know the importance
what this
of
weekend
this weekend. Up until 7 o'clock. Don't do that. You see what I'm saying?
But, okay, so we're speaking to the residents now then. So the residents, you started a conversation often saying that no one has to prime your pump, basically. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. No one had to say, it's election. Because you like, hold on, I think I know it's election season. And I kind of want to know who I want to vote for before I get into the ballot box. And so, but what I pivoted is the disheartenment and the resentfulness that a lot of the voters are having concerning my own councilman went to jail. I don't have a councilman, ladies and gentlemen.
In the matter of a year and a half, we've seen 4 after being told it ain't happening no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
people are wounded.
And I understand that, but we have got to get to a point to where. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you was gonna say
I'm here. I was enjoying what you guys were talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, first off, how you doing?
I am great.
All right.
And how are you?
I am okay. So first off, I want you to introduce yourself to the callers and let everybody know who you are.
Yes.
All righty. My name is Kenda Anderson. I am a write-in candidate for Detroit City Clerk. I have resided in Detroit for my lifetime. I always stayed in District 4. Mm-hmm. And I graduated from all my schools in District 4, elementary, middle, and high school. I have 2 bachelor's degrees, an associate's degree, and several certificates. And my reason for running for Detroit City Clerk is because we need that accountability, transparency, and education. So when we think about civic engagement for our community, we do not get that. I think about when I graduated from high school and then my first year to vote, and I voted in the general election. I was excited, and that was because we had civic engagement in high school. My parents, my grandparents, they taught us to make sure we go to vote because voting changed the dynamics of all the things that we go through, and they taught us to vote in person. And so when I think about that, I think about the young people. I am a founder and director of 2 nonprofits on the East Side. We assist over 2,000 families. We deal with college education, kids at after-school summer camp. Even we deal with the senior citizens, educating them. We house veterans and people that's displaced. We have a lot of homes in District 3. And so I jumped into this race because when I think about a clerk's job, it's very basic. One of my degrees is in business administration, and I'm an accountant as well. So when you think about basic clerk duties, that's something so simple. And it's not me trying to tear down the incumbent right now, but when you think about the things that human errors that she feel like is sufficient, and it's not, because Detroit deserves so much more. We have so many things that Detroit, we are resilient for. So I think being able to get someone in that position, meaning myself, it would change the dynamics of Detroit. We need that transparency where you can be able to come to me, call me, and I'll be there. I'll make sure we solve the problem immediately. We won't ponder around and make decisions that does not even help us in our near future. We will help our young people and our senior citizens when it comes to them being able to vote in person if they want to. They should have drive-up voting just like other states and cities have. So it's a lot of things that Detroit does not do, and we need to have that immediately.
Okay.
And first, another thing, I wanted to thank you for allowing me to be on this call as well.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you for having the courage to run for a seat in this city. Well, I'm not going to start because I always like to say ladies first. So with that being said, I'm going to let Rosin Ogburn had the first shot. So, floor is yours, man.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Kenda, for joining us this evening. I do believe we met at a precinct delegate event we held over in D7. So thank you for still keeping up the stamina to maintain the representation in our clerk's office. And you know what? Actually, my question is concerning the write-in status. So my, focus is to make sure the residents are educated in the process. Now, as a write-in candidate for the November elections, there had been a change of a process. Did you go through the process of being affidavit to be this election to be written in on the ballot for the November elections?
Oh, yes, of course. And if you didn't do that process, you're not a write-in candidate. so I don't want people to think they're fooled about it, but you must go through the process. That means obtain the write-in declaration form, complete it, make sure it's notarized, give it to the office, and they have, meaning the office is the Department of Elections, they actually have a list. Then you will see your name appear on that list. And so my name is there. As I checked 2 weeks ago, there were 48 write-in candidates. That's a lot.
Thank you very much for that information, because we want to make sure our residents understand that there is a process and there are those candidates that are seeking that process and following through with it. So thank you very much, and I'll pass it back over to Dre.
So I do have a question. I know a few people that and how they didn't end up on the ballot. Do you care to share how you didn't end up on? Well, of course.
Oh, yes. I do, and I'm doing so because we need transparency. So, as I tell you, being on the ballot was very dear to me, of course, to everyone that will run.
Yes,
so I announced my candidacy January the 26th, and after that time, I had, of course, obtained over 850 signatures. And so I went in on the 24th of March to drop off the signatures. And then I also paid for a report, the voter file for November election. And so when I dropped it off, they said it should be ready in about 3 days. And then at that time, you will get your, I guess they'll review and then declare that I'm a candidate. So after that, on March the 30th, they were playing games because they never emailed me the information. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like your line is calling me. Okay, so I had went in on the 30th, and because I kept asking for the information, they told me I got to talk to a manager, and it was just a lot of mess. And so I said, okay. So the following day, they finally sent me a letter stating that the reason why I'm not a write-in candidate is because my residency requirement. So lo and behold, I did stay in Sterling Heights for just a short bit of time because I was married, got divorced, and, came back to Detroit. So my address was not changed, but it was only because we had a pandemic. So when you think about the safety of our people, the governor, she closed down the state. So she made these 3 executive orders. Executive Order 2020-47, 71, and it's 78. So she made these executive orders that prevented anyone from going into Secretary of State unless you was a medical person that had to do some special needs things. And so I didn't qualify to go in. But they opened Secretary of State May 30th, 2020. I went in June 5th. And so when I went back and forth, I sued Janice Winfrey. I sued the Department of Elections because we did have a pandemic. And there were some things in place. But at that moment, that's when I found out Chief Judge Kenny, he stated, because we have a Detroit City Charter and the rules from the state does not go over the rules for the city charter. So that's when I found out, like, that didn't make any sense to me, because when you think about human life and safety, it shouldn't be that way. But that's what we go through when we got a city charter that's built this way, and then we have a clerk that's scared to be challenged, because that's what it was. When it all boils down to it, is a big issue about that. And it wasn't just me; it was several others that had issues in terms of being on the ballot, even issues when I think about some of the people that talked to me about why they weren't on the ballot, because I wanted to hear everyone's story as much as possible. When I found out that they said they didn't have the right amount of signatures, you have a 3-day window. And based on the laws, because I like to read the laws, so I'll know why I'm challenging them and the reason why they can't tell me certain things. There's a 3-day window. You got 72 hours to respond. And I did so. So even when they told me on March 30th, I did my 3-day rule and got the information over to the State Department of Elections. And Jonathan Brader, he runs that department, horrible as well. He did not respond until 23 days later and said there's nothing we can do because of the city charter.
Okay, so Ms. Kinder, real quick,
ahead.
I just want to get clarity. So, one, the objection was that you didn't live in the city, and then two...
No, my address was not changed. I always lived in the city, even though I moved out and came back. But I lived in the city. I was in there in time enough, but I did not change my address in time, according to the Detroit City Charter.
Okay, so that means, so number one, you didn't have accurate residency. Yes, and then number two, you didn't have the adequate amount of signatures or petitions?
No, that wasn't me. I had the right amount of signatures.
It was just the first thing that they objected?
Yeah, that was the only thing. And based on the Detroit City Charter, that is the main thing. That's the primary. You know, the city of Detroit, they want you to be a resident for a year. So, you know, the pandemic went down March the 10th.
Yeah, I understand that. I cleared. You must be a resident. I'm gonna push back on that,
1 year.
Miss Kinder.
Yeah, for 12 months.
Yeah, hold on, Miss Kinder. I'm gonna push back on that part right there. We want anybody that is running, of course, for a city elected seat to be a resident. But like you're explaining, you weren't able to, justify or change your address due to the change of the pandemic. So we got clarity on that. So I just wanted you make clarity for the listeners that are just coming in. What was the main reason why you weren't put on the ballot. So thank you very much for that clarity and for that understanding, because during that process, I believe the Secretary of State, weren't open. The Social Security office wasn't open. So there were some definitely challenges that we all was going through. So thank you for that clarity. Go ahead, Dre.
I got one more question.
Alrighty.
3 things, your priorities. If you are, selected as the next clerk, what do you plan on doing as soon as you get in?
First thing I will put in place is civic education. So when you think about us only receiving the election connection, we only get that right before the election, 3 weeks, 6 weeks before the election. So when you think about the transparency we need in our city, we should get a quarterly newsletter stating where, all these different proposals. and all the information in terms of the city council meetings, because they talk about the proposals or what is approved. So we need a little bit more, we need a lot more, not little, a lot more education to our community. And it should be able to be mailed out. So when you think she got a $10 million budget, that should account for the education that our community needs. So that will be first and foremost, getting in, making sure we get adequate education to our community. And then also having some type of information for the schools as well, where we want to make sure we educate our kids to understand civic engagement is very important, making sure they are in the school, you know, giving them the information to even work in the election department. You know, you're able to work at 16. That's where we should make sure we educate our kids to get involved, because they know the TikTok, they know WhatsApp, they know Facebook, Twitter, all these different things that will incorporate to us having, I guess, more so a savvy, you know, education for our community, because they know so much in terms of the technology. And so being able to entwine that into to making sure we move forward, that will be a second thing on the list. So it's so many things when I think about, even with the 72% failure rate that we always witness with the Department of Elections. Last year was the time during the general, there was a 17% failure rate. And that was because the state of Michigan stepped in to assist with the election. Now, we needed that right now in the past election. I requested that, didn't get a response, no feedback. It's terrible. And especially when we talk about a local election that is by far the most important election in our democracy. Oh, yeah, we needed that immediately. We did not get that. That's a problem. And so being able to make sure we increase, making sure our failure rate is not 72%, even breaking it down to make it even, I would say 25%, because you don't pass with 72% failure rate. That means a 28%. We don't pass our kids in school. So there's no reason why we should be passing the clerk that's in office right now.
Well, Roz, do you have another question?
You know, actually, I do. First of all, I want to just say thank you and shout out for all those that are tuning in on our Facebook and our Twitter Live. And so just in case if you guys have any questions for Ms. Kinder, that is running to be our write-in candidate for city clerk, I want to shout out for Ms. Henrietta Ivy, Ms. Brenda Thompson, woo woo. Got Ms. Tarnetta Carter tuning in. We got Mr. Sliding Mac. So you guys, if you got any questions for Ms. Kinder, please give us a shout out. Yes, so my last question, Ms. Kinder. So the city clerk basically has the same management, or we say employee status as the mayor, you know, besides just recently Duggan is packing, you know, the administrators at a higher level. But my question would be, as you look and you discuss the clerk's current budget and how she has been lack of using funding to, of course, civically engage and be able to productively make sure citizens and residents know about what's going on with our elections. My conversation would be the expansion, one of, you mentioned education with our the high school. How would you engage or try to merge those capacities? One, we have a budget that you stated what is capacity. Then also we know we have the employee status. Do you have any plans or any future mindsets towards being able to make sure that this conversation, because me and O is constantly talking about a procession or a succession plan of making sure these the educational aspect is connected with our leadership. Do you have any mindsets or any type of plans towards that?
Yes, I do. So the plan, you're right. And when you look at the budget, like I said, it was $10 million for this election year, and she requested another 6.6, and she feel like we're going to have 20% voter turnout at the most. So when you look at that, there is $4 million allowed for marketing. And so when you think about getting out there and getting people to understand, that's their. I'm a budget person. I'm an accountant, and I always make sure I save. And so when I think about making sure we have civic engagements in school, that will be primary. We got to make sure we have the kids in the schools know about it. And I'm saying starting as early as ninth grade. I would love to start at middle school, but we want to tackle high school right now because they're the next generation that's going to vote, that can work for voting and moving us forward. They can be our leaders in tomorrow. So making sure that we use some of that $4 million for marketing, for educating our kids and being in the schools, I would do that primary.
All right, thank you very much. And I'll pass it back over to you, Dre.
All right, with that being said, I definitely appreciate you calling in. I'm kind of upset that you couldn't come in, but it's kind of nasty outside, so please stay safe.
All right, wait a minute, hold on. We got one more question from Henrietta. Yes, Henrietta Ivy is on our Facebook Live. Can I get the question? All right. She is saying, thank you, Henrietta, for joining us. Also, what's your plan? There we go. What's your plan to do with following up on making sure the people's voting records are accurate? Good question.
Oh,
thank
my
you,
goodness.
Henrietta.
Now, I'm going to tell you, Miss Henrietta, thank you so much. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I can tell you right now, the voting accuracy is not good right now. I have a senior citizen that said they voted in the last election, and I, of course, went down to pay for a voter file for August primary. That needs to be done immediately. Now, I create for organizations, and when I was heavily involved in accounting, say about 15 years ago, I created software data. And so being able to make sure we can create a report and it can come out to show you who actually voted and when they voted, to make sure that is something that I would make sure is done. So I would create a new software. I don't know what they're using. I'm not against using what they already have, but I am willing to make changes to make sure that any voter that comes in, that they will be able to know when they voted, if it's not accurate, and also how their name is spelled. I found out, I went through, there are so many people names misspelled. And the thing is, they get that information from their driver's license. And I have a senior citizen said their name has never been updated. They updated on their driver's license 25 years ago. And now, when you look at it, it's still wrong with the Department of Elections. So there are so many issues that need to be done. There is people that's in the office, they're not trained properly. So me going in to make sure I train them, and there is a process. To me, I feel like every person that goes to the desk, they all should know the same thing. That's by minimum, because that's the easiest part when someone walks in the door. So making sure the software data that we have is equipped with 21st century. We don't have that right now, and that will take away the issues in terms of people not being able to know if they voted in the last election. Because I had a judge come to me. They told me, this was someone that supported my campaign. She said, I was told in 2012 I did not vote for Obama. And she was upset and angry. So that's sad when you think about our system, that we don't have good leadership that performs in an adequate way for the community. So I understand what Ms. Henrietta says, and I am going to make sure that will be something by me changing the software or updating the software to have output measures to be able to help our community.
All right, so
that's it. Okay. I thank you, Ms. Kinder, and Ms. Henrietta said thank you.
Okay, and then can I say one other thing? I want to just make sure people get out there and vote in person. So we won't have any malfeasance, and you will be able to see your vote go in the machine. That is very dear to my heart, and it should be dear to everyone as well. Like I explained, in 1995, I went in and placed my ballot in. That's what we should be able to do now. I'm saying just for us to get out there and vote like we did in the 2020 election, our life depends on making change. And the only way that starts is with the people out there. So you make sure you tell 15 more people, get out there and vote. You know, every person is accountable for 15 people to vote, not people that vote on the regular, new people. We have 499,000 voters in the city of Detroit. Last election, meaning the one that just passed, we had 71,000, according to the clerk's office. But then when you think in the November election last year, we had 249,000. 81,000 voted on the day in person. So when I think about that, 81,000 should get out there and vote on Tuesday. That would change the whole dynamic, especially if the clerk thinks that she's going to have 50,000 absentee voters. That'll make it 133,000 votes. We need change, and it can be done. We can get out there and vote, get our young people out there and vote. And I'm telling you, District 2, wonderful district, they have the largest amount of people that vote. When you think about how many young people that voted last year, under the age of 24, because I'm telling you, I'm a math person. I went through that spreadsheet. We had 10,964 voters in District 2 that was under the age of 24. That's awesome. That gives me goosebumps. So when I think about our young people even had the desire to vote, and we need to tell them it's an election every year, we need to make sure that happens. We need to make sure everyone knows that electing people in office is a charm. So
Absolutely.
I didn't want to harass you guys.
No,
I do appreciate you guys allowing me to be on the call. I just want people to make sure they understand the importance of voting. Our life depends on it. This is the most important election in our democracy, and we can make that change. All of us can work together. Thank you.
Before I let you go, real quick, say what district that was one more time.
That was District 2.
Thank you.
So I know, wait a minute, I can tell you all of them because I done did all the research.
That's all I care to hear about. You ain't got to
He
tell
want to
me
give a
nothing
shout
else.
out for his dish.
That's all I care to hear about.
Yeah, your District 2 had 47,000 voters overall, but 10,000 of them was our young people.
Yes.
And
Thank you, Ms.
they
Kinder.
just from that, they get applause, you know?
Yes. We appreciate you so much. And we know that Detroit literally needs to constantly be reminded. And we want to make sure that our voters get out and vote. And we know, once again, for those that have just tuned in, that once again, give us your name, what you're running for, and even how they can contact you. Miss Kinder? She's still there?
Oh,
she's
she
gone.
must have hung up. Okay.
Well, yes, that was Miss Kendra Walker, and she is running for the city clerk, and she's a write-in candidate, ladies and gentlemen. So she wants you to make sure you go either write her in on your ballot, absentee ballot, or go in on November 2nd. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Dre, because he's going to go over with our other candidates, and we're going to continue our conversation about Election Day.
Man, I wish this computer was playing because I want to hear the Exorcist song, man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so again, this is GOTV weekend, and this is an exciting weekend because this is the weekend that it all boils down to Election Day, November.
That's it.
2nd. With that being said, I'm going to run down a list of candidates, and look, if you a write-in candidate or something like that, you better correct me. You better get in on this get in while I'm about to get it in. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for mayor, I don't really have to, repeat this thing, but you know who it is. We have Anthony Adams and Mike Duggan as your candidates for mayor. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I've already voted. Because I have something to tell you next week, so I had to get that out the way. Clerk, we just have one on the line. Unfortunately, she didn't get on this ballot, but we have have Denzel McCampbell and Janice Winfrey, and as a write-in, Kendall McKinney Anderson, who we just interviewed tonight, ladies and gentlemen. For District 1, City Council, we have the incumbent James Tate and Crystal LaRosa as the young lady who will run against him for that seat in District 1.
And I actually have seen her signs throughout D1.
Really?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Tate, she on your heels.
District 2, Roy McAllister will win that seat again. I ain't got to say nothing else. District 3. And you know what?
Gonna say what other candidate is.
I mean, look. There's been open seats here. Ain't nobody called me. So, again.
And District 5.
You coming from my... Look, that's my territory. That's where I feed my children. And help others. So, boop. District 3. We have... Scott, no, you're good. You gotta get a little excited, a little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, sorry. And 3.
We got Scott Benson as the incumbent and write-in candidate Adam Mundy. District 4, we have Letitia Johnson and M.L. Elric. It'd be funny sometimes to say M.L. Elric is running as the city council.
Yeah, because you're just thinking of the reporter.
You see what I'm saying? It's like everybody going to hell once he get in there. And he gonna tell on himself too, man. Like, he gonna have cameras in the bathroom. Like, no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just,
It's a high level investigation.
Yeah. He's just, man. Look,
he ever knows some stuff.
It's like if I put you as a chair of a committee, and I disagree with you.
What's your next level?
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
I'm trying to.
How does this go? But hey, everybody deserves the opportunity to serve.
Hopefully, he understands the level of professionalism he's putting himself in right now.
Henrietta at home faking like she got the cooties.
No.
But District 5, we have Mary Sheffield. Nobody ran against her.
Yeah, see, and that's why I was thinking I went from 2 to 5 because I was thinking of those that were already kind of.
Understood.
My brain was touching.
District 6, you have Hector Santiago and Gabriela Santiago Romero.
Gabriela.
Now, it takes for Gabriela to say her name the correct way. I don't want to do that wrong.
Did you say it right?
I said it right, but the way she says it,
Gabriela
Santiago
Romero.
She says it the way I wish I could say. And so...
Gabby for 6.
Gabby
what
for
up,
6.
Though? Okay.
Look, I ain't in 6, so I can't endorse. That's what I let my homegirl do, Again, I got something to tell y'all next week. But
Gabby 6.
District 7. You got Fred Durhall III and Regina Ross. Yeah, it's
it's like the showdown. Dun, dun, dun.
And you have
got tumbleweeds blowing in it.
At large, you have Janae Ayers, Nicole Small, Coleman Young, and Mary Waters. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your top quote unquote seats up for grabs in the city of Detroit. That's your mayor candidate, your clerk candidate, your city council candidates. And I just want to say, I really thought this damn thing would have been more exciting than what it has turned out to be. But that's just me. You have, and I'm gonna run it down real quick. Henrietta all up in these doggone chat boxes. You should have been here. The police commissioner candidates. District 1. I didn't find a candidate. So I guess everybody was a write-in.
Okay.
District 2, you have Linda Bernard, who's in the seat now, and Lavish T. Williams. District 3, you only have Cedric Banks, who's obviously on the ballot. District 4, you have Willie Bell and Scotty Bowman. District 5, again, one person on the ballot. District 6, you have Lisa Carter and Landis Spencer. District 7, my homegirl's hometown.
Write-in candidate.
Some,
So write-in candidate. And so the current candidate that I am selecting and telling people to write in for is Ricardo Moore, which was our former police commissioner before our current police commissioner, Davis Williams. So Ricardo Moore has shown himself to be qualified and is seeking to return his position to represent us as our police commissioner, and I do recommend him to be the writing candidate.
Ricardo Moore, is that the cat that had it Remo signs or whatever the hell he be saying on the? Look, it's
They say more. No, more, something more.
Yeah, something like that. But I seen somewhere said Remo or something like.
He also has commercials on 910
Okay,
a.m. Also, yes.
Well,
Yes.
with that being said, we got about 4 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. Look,
You gonna review the proposals real quick?
we got shit.
We got the proposals, just in case. We got them word for word. Just in case you didn't see that ballot yet.
Yeah, I totally forgot about these rinky-dink proposals. Proposal R. Should the Detroit City Council establish a reparations task force to make recommendations for housing and economic development programs that address historical discrimination against the black community in Detroit? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Now,
Proposal E.
hold on. It is basically just asking to form a what? A task force. Boom.
That's
Next.
it. That don't mean your ass getting checked.
Next.
Proposal E. Entheogenic plants. Thank God for my auntie who taught me hooked on fire.
We've been talking about
Shall
this.
the voters of the city of Detroit adopt an ordinance to the 2019 Detroit City Code that will decriminalize to the fullest extent permitted under Michigan law the personal possession and therapeutic use of entheogenic plants by adults and make the personal possession and therapeutic use of entheogenic plants by adults the city's lowest law enforcement priority?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
She said no.
No,
Okay.
we're not having hallucinogenics.
Look,
That's
we gotta
not
keep
weed.
going.
It's not weed.
Proposal S. Amendment to City Charter. Do you agree to amend a provision of the City of Detroit to amend Section 12-101 of the Charter that restricts power from the voters to enact city ordinance for the appropriation of money? The amended section shall read, the voters of the city reserve the power to enact city ordinance called the initiative and the power to nullify ordinances enacted by the city called the referendum. However, these powers do not extend to the budget, and the referendum power does not extend to any emergency ordinance. The initiative and the referendum may be invoked by petition as provided in this charter. Meaning, no, you cannot get money out the budget.
Boom. And we got a caller that just came in. Hello, caller. What would you like to
your
say?
ass is too late. Hang up. We gotta go. See you all.
Hey, I heard that Dre's a Donald Trump supporter.
I'm gonna beat your ass. Man, goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 minutes left, 1 minute left. Rise, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds and we're gonna call it out.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into Quarantine. I'm Roslyn M. Ogburn, your candidate to be your next state representative for 2022. We need you to get out and vote this November 2nd, next Tuesday. Get out. Don't care what they talking about. Get your voice heard. And then also for those in Brightmoor and Old Redford, inbox me to get your survey filled out. And we got them hot $50 surveys for you. Give me a call.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not a Donald Trump supporter. I can't stand that guy. He ruined the USFL for me years ago. But look, man, when I see y'all next week, we might have a new mayor. We might not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Quarantine. Catch y'all next week. You know what it is.